Hi, welcome to the Lisa Saunders Show. I'm Lisa Saunders, and today I'm going to talk about something that I think is fun, and that's tourism in the Mystic, Connecticut area, which is where I live. I love to write about Mystic. I've written a couple books about it, and to help us talk about it, I have with me Michael Whitehouse from Minuteman Press. Hello. Welcome. Thanks for coming.
You.
And you live in Groton.
I do live in Groton.
Okay. And Brian Howe, Sales Manager of Quality in Mystic.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming. And I forget where you said you live. Where do you live?
I live in Griswold.
In Griswold. Okay. That's what, 20 minutes from here?
About 20 minutes.
Okay. Well, you guys have something special that you've started to do. Tell me what it is.
Well, it's a business roundtable hosted by the Quality Inn in Mystic. And actually, I got the idea by reading Stu Leonard's biography, where when Stu Leonard, a lot of people know Stu Leonard's a kind of visionary business person.
He's the one that has the grocery stores
Yep.
with cows and stuff?
Yep.
I love that story. I wish we had one in Mystic.
Yeah. But so he has been brilliant in business, except for that one time when he accidentally went to jail a little bit.
Oh, okay.
In his book, he talks about how he knew he was doing something wrong, but he was siphoning a little bit of money off to the side, and he got caught, and the IRS was cracking down at the time, so he went to a minimum security prison in a small town that's having economic problems. So the local Chamber of Commerce realized that they had this business luminary who made one major mistake in their town, and they started availing themselves of his advice. And one thing he set up was this round table where businesses could get together and could share their challenges and share their ideas, because oftentimes the solution to your problem, the person right next door might have it.
Right.
Or maybe you're a retailer and you've got some intractable problem that you can't think of and no other retailer can think of a solution, and then you mention it to a guy in manufacturing, and the manufacturing guy says, well, why don't you just move it over there? Mm-hmm. And because, each industry does things that industry way, but when you have someone else look at it, suddenly they can bring some insight. So that's the idea, is to bring people in from all different businesses, whether it's hospitality, retail, manufacturing, marketing, printing, whatever.
That's a great idea. Now, this is at the Quality Inn at Mystic?
Quality in Mystic, we're hosting it. It's a great opportunity for us because people, business likes, anybody, as it's a free event, can come in and see our product and what we have to offer. And obviously, we enjoy having business-like and those kind of professionals at our hotel just to see, like I said, our product and what we have to offer. And
so what do you have, so it's in a big meeting room or one of your meeting rooms?
It's in our banquet room.
Your banquet room, okay.
It's hosted. We're right now discussing the exact date and time of the meeting. We currently have it the first Thursday of every month at noon for an hour, kind of like a bag lunch. They can bring their own food. We have water there, some refreshments. So obviously a great opportunity for all type of industries to come together and discuss their problems. And obviously, it's nice because Michael can give me feedback. Hey, do this differently. Or, hey, the gentleman stopped by from one of the local Merrill Lynch firms, and he talked about opportunities, for him. Oh, wow, I can do this differently. So it's a great opportunity for everybody to bring different ideas to the table that we can utilize, that, we're not thinking outside the box. And now that we are, wow, I could do that differently. I could do this differently. So it's a really great idea.
It's always nice when there's something free you can go to. So many things cost money.
Yeah,
so a business person can go there, bring at their lunchtime the first Thursday of every month.
Yes.
And discuss their problems or challenges and see if somebody has a solution.
Yep. Exactly.
Plus, it's a great great way to network. Now, I heard the Quality in Mystic accepts dogs. Is that right?
That is 100% correct.
How many rooms do you have for dogs?
All of our rooms are for dogs. How about that? We're very pet friendly. We enjoy that fact because pets are an extension of the family, and it's great to welcome them. We have a doggy bag at check-in, a great area for them to play in, so it's a great opportunity for us.
Well, that's good to know, because I just did a blog post on This is Mystic about the restaurants I can take my dog to, because I'm a stay-at-home writer. I'm a freelance writer. I also work part-time at Mystic Seaport in historical interpretation, but most of the time it's my dog and I.
Right.
And so then when we go out to dinner, I don't have to bring him all the time. I'd like to see my husband too and talk to him, but I'm just saying it's so relaxing for Jim to come home. We live in Mystic. Let's walk downtown. Where can we go that he can join us? So I came up with a list of where he can sit on the patio, and that was very popular because people need to know, oh, gee, I can come to Mystic for the day and find places to sit outside with my dog, when it's that season. And then I'm thinking I really should do a list, or maybe is there a list of dog-friendly hotels?
There is. There's many websites. I think the best way people can figure out if their hotel they're going to is pet friendly, which is Quality in Mystic. No, it's by visiting their website and just saying, it says on each website whether or not, because some hotels don't take pets.
Right. Oh, so, I know they don't.
Obviously, if they visit that hotel's website, it'll have all those pet policies there for them, so they can explore
and you're close
and
to
see
the aquarium
what they'd like to stay
and
in.
Old Mystic Village and Mystic Seaport and all that. So
Correct.
You're close to everything.
Very close.
Yeah, one of the things that actually came out of the roundtable we had most recently, because talking about networking, is when I was talking to Brian about what he was looking to do in terms of work with groups and whatnot. Mm-hmm. Since that was fresh in my mind, the pirate invasion, they needed some places for people to stay. And I was thinking, wait, I was just talking to Brian about this, and they're looking for those kinds of groups. I bet they'd be very open to making some good accommodations for them, and sure enough, and it's great because they're right nearby downtown,
right?
And so they're able to work well with them, and they're very good about working with. That's one thing I find with networking events is the people I meet at a networking event, whether it's BNI, Business Network International, or this kind of roundtable or Business After Hours.
With the Greater Mystic Chamber of Commerce.
Or with any of them.
Right.
But generally I find that the people who attend those kind of events have more of a community-minded mindset.
Right.
And they're not all about, how much money can I get out of you right now?
Right.
It's more how can we work together?
Right.
How can we, leverage each other's assets and each other's connections? And when you do that, everyone does better.
Right.
Because it didn't cost me anything to be thinking about. So, and in fact, it solved a problem because they were talking in the meeting. They were saying, yeah, we're going to need to find some place, and maybe we'll call this guy, and I've got a number for this guy, but I'm not sure if it's the right number, but I'll try it. And I said, and after the meeting, I talked to him. I said, oh, just give Brian a call. I'm sure he'll take care of you. And boom, we were able to do that because that's the advantage of having that kind of networking connections. That it's not all about having connections so people will give you business. It's often about having connections so you can give it to others.
Right.
Because in BNI, there's a concept called giver's gain, which is if you're always focused on giving out referrals and giving out business, it will come back.
Right.
But if you're always focused on what's for me, give,
right.
That's when people look at you as someone who's always taking, and then you don't get as much.
Right.
So it works out, and being
So
be
what
a
do
good
you
person
think
really
are
does
the
work.
challenges? What are some of the challenges people are facing?
In regards to?
Well, in the Mystic area now, what is it, the tourism budget? Or what? Some budget was cut. What was that? Explain that to me.
Dan Malloy, the governor of Connecticut, has slashed quite a bit of the budget for tourism. In turn, most of Mystic and probably most of the state is seeing a lower amount of tourists visiting the area. We can attest to that. This summer we saw a huge downturn in tourists visiting Connecticut. That's because not as many ads are being played throughout the region. The welcome centers are closed, so they're not having that guest interaction. Hey, you're going to Mystic. Oh, why don't you try here? Why don't you try there? So again, we're lacking in those areas. And I'm sure a major office, which is the Eastern Regional Tourism Center for Mystic and Eastern Connecticut, also closed. So they're still operating to a degree, just not to the nth degree which they used to do. So, myself, my team at the Quality Inn, we've all been faced with challenges to get those business opportunities out for guests.
And thinking about all that, I know a lot of writers that write about Mystic, blog about Mystic. I send a newsletter out that reaches New Yorkers, some Boston, but I'm from New York, so a lot of my people are from New York. And I'm wondering, is there a way that writers can help hotels and other restaurants and businesses fill in the gaps, maybe by helping businesses send out newsletters or
Well, I think
linking to fun articles or any, tell me what you think.
Well, this world is going more towards social media and in turn with blogging. So, if there's a way that we can better word and better get our amenities and our offerings of hotels in general, what is there to offer? What brings them to Mystic? Why should they stay there? That way people, when they're looking around Google or whichever, that pops up that blog, and or people that visit that blog now see, wow, I could stay here. I could do this in Mystic, because there's plenty to do in Mystic.
Well, because I'm seeing with my dog all the time, tourists come up to me asking me things, and I know that most of them a lot of them have no clue there's a downtown Mystic, I can tell you that.
Yeah, we were talking
because
about
they think
that
Old
today.
Mystic Village is the downtown Old Mystic.
That actually happened when I first visited Mystic. I came as a tourist.
Mm-hmm.
I lived in Milford at the time, and we were looking for quick, inexpensive, overnight. At the time I worked Saturdays. My wife worked Saturdays, so we had from Saturday at 5 until Sunday night, and that was our weekend. I called it a car salesman's weekend because I was a car salesman. And so we figured let's go to Mystic because it seems like the best place we can get to nearby. And she found a nice bed and breakfast online. And we're taking that kind of trip. You don't really plan it out. You just kind of like...
Right, I was the same way.
You fling yourself in that direction. You see
Right.
what you find. Well, because the way the signage is, when you do that, you drive down I-95. You get off at exit 90. You see Old Mystic Village. You go into it. And now Old Mystic Village is a great place. As shopping complexes go, it is probably possibly the best one I've ever seen.
It's the prettiest place.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
But it's still a shopping complex when you get down to it. It was built for that purpose. It's not. It's artificial. Disney World's also artificial, so it's not necessarily a bad thing. But it's not authentic old New England downtown. And we were going around through for a few hours, and suddenly it clicked to me. And I'm like, where's the water? I'm obviously not in Mystic because there's no water here.
Right.
And I realized we could have easily spent our entire day in downtown, in Old Mystic Village without ever seeing downtown. And then we continued on, and this is actually a story that I told to some of the people when there was a debate about if they should change the signage on I-95. So I said, okay, let's go find the water. So we drove down Route 27. We took a left and had a wonderful dinner in Stonington Borough. We finally, towards the end of Sunday, made it to downtown Mystic. We never made it to the Groton side. I think we may have crossed the bridge and come back. We took a little, there's a little boat that docks by the bridge that does the tours. Mm-hmm. We did that. But other than that, we barely set foot in downtown. We spent most of our time in Old Mystic Village and in Stonington Borough.
But I did know when I came as a tourist, I did know there was a downtown because those I always look for those colorful maps, and every place has them, thank goodness.
Mm-hmm.
So we actually did spend a lot of time downtown. So I'm not sure why other people don't know that, but maybe they're not the type that grab the map, the local map. I mean, there is a visitor center at Old Mystic Village.
I think we may have grabbed a bigger map, and the map had Stonington Borough on it, and so. I think when we Googled restaurants, somehow the ones in the borough came up more than the ones downtown, or they came up as closer or something.
At the Quality Inn, we actually, every guest that checks in, we give them, we call them the cartoon maps, but the maps of Mystic. Yeah. And inside those are also restaurant guides for all the Mystic directions, what it entails
all right, so that's
at
one
that
thing.
restaurant.
I'm assuming every hotel would do that, I would think.
Well, I'm guessing they probably do.
Or maybe
However,
they don't. Maybe they don't all when you're checking. Maybe they just assume you're going to go pick up those brochures.
Yeah, I don't think they do.
I don't think they do.
That's
I can
really
tell you
important.
this. A lot of guests that come are like, what do we do today? What is there to do in Mystic? We have a nice brochure rack near our front desk. So, what the desk agents will do is go over there. Oh, well, you can do this today. Mm-hmm. You could do this. So, from what I see, is a lot of guests come to Mystic and they aren't entirely sure what they're doing that day, just like Michael said and alluded to.
I didn't look at it because people were like, well, don't they look it up? And I said, no, I didn't look it up. I just felt like getting in the car.
Let's just go.
And go, I've heard of Mystic.
And actually, and part of what I do for Minuteman is I do sales. So I've been into most of the hotels and whatnot. I've been in a few of them. A few of those when someone's checked in and has asked, what should I do? And the person behind the counter will kind of do their best and be like, well, I've heard this restaurant's pretty good and that. But there's not a formal, well, here's our restaurant guide, here's our tourist guide.
Well, there's so many restaurants. And I actually hate giving people advice on restaurants because everybody's so different. You know?
But that's the great thing about a guide. If you have a printed, like, here's our map and restaurant guide, it gives you 25 options.
Exactly.
Right.
That's what we do.
So then you're not telling them what to do.
Right.
You're telling, here's 25 restaurants and there's 40 more.
Right.
So then you're letting them decide for themselves. But yeah, I think most of the other hotels, and they should, because that's the great thing, is people are going to remember their experience in the Quality Inn at Mystic as, you were the guys who sent them to the great restaurant.
Correct.
Or sent them to the boat tour or whatever it is that they have such a great time with.
So then maybe hotels should also remind people to visit the visitor center because there's some videos.
Which I was just going to say, if Michael, let's say, checked in and we kind of gave him the spiel, hey, you could do this, hey, you could do that. If they're still undecided, what are we going to do? Hey, head over to the Mystic Visitor Center. They're open today. They have displays. They can show you where to go because they have more of an outreach. They have Foxwoods in there, Mohegan, so they can really show them everything to do. And unfortunately, that's the only one left. That's the only way I can show people now and say, hey, head over there because all other welcome centers are closed in Connecticut.
Well, and of course,
regional offices are closed.
And the reason that they're the only one left is because they're a different business model.
Correct.
Right.
All the other ones are closed or were state funded. The
These
state,
guys are private.
You're dependent on the whims of the state and this year we don't like tourism, cut everything. And then if they decide to bring it back, well, a half of them will come back, but the other half have been repurposed into
something else entirely.
Whatever. Whereas the one in Old Mystic Village, because that's a for-profit model, which certainly has its place. It works well because the businesses it's worth their while to pay to be advertised there. It makes sure it's there. There's always going to be business to keep that going.
Correct.
And that works very well, for that stability.
Well, this is why I wrote Mystic Seafarers Trail, that book, because I just wanted to come up with the 7 wonders of Mystic and come up with a trail that people can follow. So I designed a trail that's in the book that you have at your hotel to help people find the way. And so if I happen to have the book on me, I don't always, of course, but I'll say, well, here's a map in there. But I do encourage them to try to see this spot, that spot. They don't realize all this is here. So that's why I think if you're lucky, tourists will read about Mystic before they come, and then they'll really have a good idea of what to do. But like I said, it's capturing those people who have no clue. And I meet so many people that only come here for lunch. They're on the way from New York to Boston or vice versa, and they stop at like Mystic Pizza for lunch, or they stop, get off at exit 90. And just have lunch, because I don't think they realize. But that's why that's when hopefully they can be grabbed and somebody let them know there's so much to do here. You need to keep coming back over and over.
And speaking of authors, I think it was on the Colin McEnroe show on WNPR. They're talking about this that if you look for books to take place in New York, there's zillions of books to take place in New York. There's zillions of books to take place in Boston. You can probably find dozens of books to take place in Western Massachusetts. So, because you get that sense of place in those areas because you can find all these books where you can say, oh, here's a place in Northampton, Massachusetts. I'm from Massachusetts. Here's a place in Northampton where this book happened. But there's not so many that take place in Connecticut. And so you get the sense that Connecticut is that rest stop between Boston and New York. And because they're talking about all the history that's happened here and, Benedict Arnold and New London and Stonington being the one small village that did repel the British, and Mystic's Mystic seafaring culture and history, and there's so much history in this state and this region especially, but you don't have books about it as much because the books about seafaring are about Long Island and New York and Marblehead and Gloucester and Boston and yeah, we've got the Amistad. I think that's pretty much our history that made the books is trying to send slaves back to their slaveholders. So if there were more stories set in this area, and then of course the challenge is not just the story has to be set here. The story has to be set here, and then the book has to become a huge hit that everyone reads.
Right. I mean, I have, I like some of the reviews of my book on Amazon, just talking about, now I've seen it through Lisa's eyes. I can't wait to come. Like, that makes me feel good.
Yeah.
That makes me feel good for the community, because it wasn't just meant to be at Mount Mystic, because I talk about a lot of other things and history, because a lot of famous people came through here, Amelia Earhart, and just a lot of people came through and did great things.
Yeah,
but I agree, it has become a big seller like Mystic Pizza. So we need another big selling Mystic Pizza type story.
We need it.
And of course, the funny thing about Mystic Pizza is it's such a poor representation of the area. Because if your only understanding of Mystic, what you see on Mystic Pizza, you'd never visit that town.
Right.
Well, you'd see the water. Because there's some beautiful shots. Actually, I have to,
But it doesn't show a town you'd visit. It shows a town you drive through. Because it's showing it from the perspective
But at
of
least
the
it gets you here, though.
Yeah.
It does get you here.
Yes.
And then when because everybody wants to eat lunch, they always ask me, where is it? And every day I walk by, I see people standing under the sign.
Yep.
The husband's taking pictures of the wife, blah, blah. I
And
always
once
say,
you're
do you want
there,
me to get you all together? And I don't... and I take a picture of everybody all together, and they're happy.
Well, once you're there, you're downtown, and then you can see
You're
other things.
downtown. So actually, I think that's a huge draw. Anyway, so everybody...
Yeah, no, and that is good, but it's it would be good to get the story out of, because the other thing is there's a lot of really interesting events here.
There's
like
so
we're
many.
talking about the pirate invasion.
Yeah, there's
up.
one interesting event after another.
Yeah, I mean, how many downtowns?
I think next weekend is the Garlic Festival.
Is that right?
I think so.
Yeah.
It might be this weekend or next weekend.
And I know next weekend is Mystic Eats.
Mystic Eats,
which is
so it's probably this week.
Yeah. And you've got the pirate invasion, which is all kinds of towns do like a food event. There's Taste of whatever or Blank Eats or whatever. And so Mystic Eats is a great event, but it's similar to others.
An event that's really taken off in Mystic was the Mystic Village Lights Festival right before Christmas.
Yep.
I remember last year I visited it, and traffic was backed up, really, really backed up on 95. And we had guests actually stay at our hotel just to go see that event. So it felt nice, wow, people are actually coming to do the events here. So I think
they sure do.
I think
the lighted
there's plenty
boat
of
parade when Santa comes by tugboat. That's so cool. Where else can you live where Santa comes by tugboat?
But I know the Lights Festival has a great outreach for guests. They Facebook. You know what I mean? Outside the area. My experience is a lot of the events that Mystic holds now, mostly local tourists or local residents. So I think it's just a way that we need to get those events out to outreach more people outside the community that might come down, maybe stay for a night, make a couple days out of it.
Like I said, it's up to writers and bloggers and Facebook and you know what I mean. Try to have something on your Facebook page that's exciting that people want to keep looking at.
And it's also running those kinds of events that do draw. Like I ran RoCon, which was a small science fiction convention at the Ramada. Quality didn't have enough rooms to accommodate it.
Right.
But at the Ramada has a larger ballroom space, and we had about 35 sci-fi writers, sci-fi and fantasy writers, and one science educator and some others. And most of the people we had were from all over. New York, New Jersey. I actually made a Google map of where everyone's from. The furthest away I got was Austria.
Really?
So is that what you
amazing.
write? Do you like to write that? Do you like to write science fiction? Is this why you did?
I like to read science fiction.
Oh, okay.
I like to write it too, but I'm not very good at it and don't have time. So, yeah, she didn't actually come from Austria for the convention. She was visiting friends, but I still put her pin in Austria. So that's pretty cool. I could say I had someone come from Austria. International event. But we had people come from, I think, every state: New England, New York, New Jersey, a few others. So that drew a lot of people in from outside. And a lot of people are generally aware of Mystic, but having those kinds of draw events is something that Mystic could really benefit from.
And I think Pirates is going to only get bigger and bigger every year, I think, as people hear about it. Because that's a crazy event. That's so fun.
Yeah. Well, and also, like, a lot of my connections are into the Renaissance Fair circuit and
that'd be awesome.
Sci-fi conventions and whatnot. And I think when they first developed one thing I found that's interesting is that groups will run like a pirate thing or a Renaissance thing or whatnot, but in a vacuum and not realize that there's a greater community of people. I'd heard that they were surprised that so many people just showed up in costume on their own. They were expecting, well, we're going to need to pay people to come in costume. And at the first one, there are all these people dressed up as pirates, and they'd ask them, what they're doing there, and they said, oh, there's a pirate event. So I put on my pirate. So I take my pirate costume out of the closet, and I put it on, and I drove down from New Hampshire to be here. So having those kinds of unique events.
And maybe there should be like a Civil War event. Because a lot of the buildings are right for that era, and I have a Civil War dress. Maybe I should be putting on,
exactly, I agree.
Have a reenactors
awesome.
weekend or whatever. And you don't even, because mine isn't authentic. An authentic person would put their nose down at my hoop skirt and all that. But I like it.
Or a steampunk event.
A what?
Steampunk.
Steampunk?
Steampunk. So steampunk it's a neo-Victorian subculture. It's kind of, you take like Jules Verne type writing, or if you ever saw the movie Wild Wild West with Will Smith, that kind of gives you a rough idea of what steampunk is. So it kind of goes that Victorian idea of the top hats and the dresses, but also the idea the steam powered, the gears and the brass.
Now, who thinks of all these fun events? Is this the Mystic Chamber of Commerce, or?
Well, anyone could. One is the thing of steampunk, and I work with the organizer of the Steampunk World's Fair, which is the largest steampunk event in North America, down in Piscataway, New Jersey.
Who knew?
I never would have known that. That's amazing.
But they're starting to run vendor fairs. They're actually doing a vendor fair up in North Central Massachusetts to support a charity called Warmer Winters, and basically they're bringing in a lot of steampunk vendors, and people who are into that like to go where there's a lot of vendors. So they're expecting a substantial number of people, possibly over 1,000. And North Central Massachusetts is not really tourist country. It's a lower population area, but that's a draw in itself. So that's getting those kinds of things that would draw, whether it's because it's a particular subculture like steampunk or.
Well, no, it's a good things to think about. Now we only have 2 minutes left, so tell us again what everybody can come to your event.
The event, yes, first Thursday of every month, we are doing a business roundtable event at the Quality and Mystic. Michael Whitehouse from Minuteman Press has put this together.
Very good,
and
Michael. That's a good
thank
idea.
You for that, Michael. And we invite all small businesses or businesses alike to come visit this free event at the Quality and Mystic.
Writers can come.
It's at noon, like we said, every first Thursday of the month. And while you're at it, come visit the Quality and Mystic, see what we have to offer. So.
All right, and Minuteman Press, you made a big blow up of my book.
We did.
After the Loss of the Spouse, from Henry VIII to Julia Child. I love seeing it. It's huge.
I actually hand delivered that.
You did. Wow. That's right, because we needed it in a hurry. So thank you. It was so nice to have you on the show. Nice to see you.
Thank you.
Nice to see you.
Nice
Thanks
to see
for
you.
coming.
Thank you for having us.
And thank you so much for joining us on the Lisa Saunders Show. And I'll see you next week.